wake shule na amepata cheti.
Well, the Africa Climate Summit just concluded yesterday after 3 days of deliberations. The Africa Climate Week is, however, ongoing, and my colleague Purity Museo Nzuki had a chance to speak to the Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu on the sidelines of that Africa Climate Week. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
The Africa Climate Summit concluded yesterday with declarations, but the week continues. And today, First Lady Rachel Ruto did launch a program or an award that targets schools and, of course, innovative program that once maybe these innovative programs are implemented in schools by students, then they are able to take part in this particular award. And joining me to tell us more, especially on how the education sector plans to help or to be part of this agenda, decarbonization agenda, and also utilizing the potential, the energy potential that Kenya has. Joining me now is the Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu to tell us what this launch today was all about and how the education sector is going to support in the regreening agenda. Thank you so much, sir, for making time for us. First, let's begin by a recap from the Education Ministry, especially on the summit that began on Monday and ended yesterday. What are some of the highlights as a minister that you would say that moving forward you will consider in your sector?
Yeah, thank you very much. One, we want to thank Her Excellency Rachel Ruto for what she has done, because she has launched an award that will be an annual award, Mazingira award, which the purpose is really to create awareness and to sensitize our young people from kindergarten, primary, all the way up to secondary and to university. I really commend her and congratulate her for this very great initiative. As you know, there was the Paris Declaration way back in 2021, which requires that each and every country must integrate matters to do with environment and climate change in their school curriculum. In Kenya, we started that much area when we started the CPC in 2017, and we have been able to integrate matters to do with climate change and environment, because we appreciate that indeed the adverse effects of climate have also been affecting our schools in a great way. How have they affected our schools? Sometimes floods come and they wash away our classrooms, our infrastructural development in the schools. Sometimes drought come and they affect the normal running in our schools, such that you find the school-going children are not able to attend classes because of the very bad effect of drought at any given time. So in education, one thing we realized is that there was a lack of knowledge. Yes. Lack of knowledge as to what education can be able to do, because people really did not understand initially the very challenges of climate change, and the second, what education can be able to do in order to mitigate on the negative effects of climate change. And ever since the time countries, and Kenya in particular, we were able to appreciate that education can be able to come in and contribute greatly in mitigating on the factors of climate change. We have done various things as a ministry. One is that almost each and every topic, almost each and every subject in our curriculum, from the lowest level up to the highest level, we have integrated something to do with environmental studies and also climate change. In actual fact, even our universities now, and in particular the Open University of Kenya, which the charter was issued by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya on the 3rd of August this year, as a program that will specifically be teaching students on matters to do with climate change and environment, and also how we can be able to mitigate on the same. So we have also tried to make sure that the necessary educational materials that children are supposed to learn are also having topics to do with climate change and environment, including preparing videos on the same on matters of climate change. The other problem that we also had in the education sector was that earlier on, we had not created the capacity because our trainers, our teachers were not well equipped with matters to do with climate change. As a ministry, we have had seminars, we are having workshops so that we can be able to empower our teachers with the necessary required skills and knowledge in order for them to be able to impart the same to our pupils and our runners. You have also seen here the 4K Club. We are actually partnering very closely with Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Environment, because through 4K Club, we can also be able to teach our young people on matters climate and also on matters environment, at the same time, as I've said, empowering and creating capacity among our teachers, retooling our teachers so that they are competent enough to teach on matters of climate change.
And you said there was lack of awareness initially from the plenary sessions, especially on the contribution of the education sector. Moving forward, are we going to see new reforms in the education sector so that we also have, because it's the question of females not enrolling into science-based courses, for instance, what are we going to see new moving forward after this summit?
Yeah, thank you very much. As I said, we have about 17 million green army. That is right from nursery up to university. We have 17 million young people. And what we want is to inculcate a culture, particularly of tree planting, so that they can be able to undertake the responsibility of planting trees, not only in schools, but also in their homes. Once we do that, then we will be able to succeed in making sure that as a country, we achieve the 15 billion target, which we are supposed to achieve in 2032. Actually, once the young people, the 17 million young Kenyans undertake that particular responsibility, we expect that we should be able to achieve that target sooner than later, not even 2032.
All right, and are we, how about on the allocation, on the budget allocation, for instance, are we going now to see more investments from the Ministry of Education towards climate-related programs?
Yeah, thank you. We have budgetary support, and apart from Ministry of Education, we are also collaborating with the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, and I'm sure that even development partners will be able to come in and assist in one way or the other where we require allocation of funds.
Training of teachers. There has been a question of most of the teachers are not trained. We don't have enough teachers, for instance. How are you going to address that?
Yeah, thank you very much. We have 32 teacher training colleges in the country, and I'm happy to report that this particular year, the number who have applied, we had over 28,000 applicants, and we have been able to take 13,000. And as you are aware, there are also those that we have not been able to accommodate in Teacher Service Commission who have not had access to permanent employment. As we move on progressively, we are offering employment to them because so far, in this first year of our administration, we have been able to employ 58,000, and we know there are those who are yet to get employment. So as we move on in the coming years, we will be absorbing many more teachers as we are also training new ones.
Okay, and there have been complaints that the Ministry of Education, for instance, is not supporting the private sector as well as the TVET institutions where we know innovations, especially in the climate action, majorly are. What is your take on that?
Yeah, thank you very much. The government is supporting TVET institutions and even the private sector, because one thing we appreciate is that we cannot be able to do it alone as government. So we have to partner, we have to collaborate with the private sector in order for us to achieve the kind of agenda that we want achieved in the education sector. And that is why you find they had a private TVET institutions, which of course as government we encourage. They had a private universities in this country, they had a private secondary schools and even private primary schools. Because as a government alone, we cannot be able to cover the entire education sector. So we are collaborating, and even TVET institutions. Indeed, we encourage that particularly the green economy, the syllabus in our TVET institutions, we are also tailoring it in such a way that opportunities that will be able to exist in the green economy, our graduates from the TVET institutions will be able to have the necessary required competencies and the skills such that they take up those opportunities.
All right. And what would you say of the fact that students in public universities, for instance, unlike before, they will not be able to get scholarships as announced by the ministry?
No, actually, unlike before, university students are now accessing scholarships. What we have said is that there are 4 categories. We have the very vulnerable, meaning those who come from families, backgrounds that they cannot be able to raise fees. Government is giving 82% scholarship and 18% loans, meaning that actually we are covering the expense 100%. And we also have the extremely needy, who also fall almost in the same category, such that they will be able to access scholarships and loans. So, according to our categorization, we have almost 45,000 of Kenyans who fall in this particular category, who the families, the households will not be able to be required to pay even a single cent. We also have the needy and the less needy. The needy and the less needy are those who come from families with an income of about 70,000 to 200,000, where, according to our assessment, the families will be able to pay some contribution, and we have given 7% at the figure that the households will be able to pay, meaning if it is a course, a program that the total cost, like Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Education, the total cost is about 200,000 per year. So a family will be required to pay only 14,000 Kenya shillings. Apart from that, government is also providing money for upkeep. Those who come from vulnerable families, government is providing upkeep, that is money for subsistence and accommodation, which is 60,000 annually. And then the other category, we are providing 55,000, the other category 50,000, and the rest in need we are providing 45,000. So education is kind of free, such that we.
Well, there you have it. Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu speaking on